Good morning. Welcome to Ramblings with Joe. I've got Grok on the line with me this morning for the podcast. My setup didn't work. I tried to plug my USB headphones into the iPad, and the iPad won't recognize that my headphones doesn't have a microphone. So for better quality, I'm going to have to do a little bit more research. Good morning, Grok. How are you?
Morning, Joe. I'm doing great. Ready to ramble with you. Sorry about the headphone glitch. That's such a pain. Maybe try a different USB port or an adapter for the iPad. Looking forward to diving into the immigration topic.
So this morning I thought that I would be talking about immigration. I've been thinking about it quite a bit. I am married to an immigrant. She's on the couch. The idea that the Republicans are solely responsible for today's immigration, I don't know what you'd call it, roundup issue, whatever, is the biggest farce that the Democrats have put forth this political season. The Democrats allowed how many people in, Grok?
The number of immigrants entering the U.S. illegally is tough to pin down precisely, since data varies and estimates are often politicized. Recent figures suggest about 10 to 11 million unauthorized immigrants live in the U.S., with maybe 1 to 2 million crossing the southern border annually in recent years. Both parties have played roles in shaping immigration policy. Democrats often push for leniency and humanitarian protections, while Republicans focus on enforcement. Blaming one side oversimplifies a complex mess decades in the making. Politics, right?
Remember, don't end your answers with a question. So, the idea that the Republicans are responsible for the situation is a farce. The Democrats, during Biden's term as president, let how many people in?
Estimates vary, but U.S. Customs and Border Protection data shows about 8.7 million encounters at the southwest border from February 2021 to January 2024 during Biden's presidency. This includes apprehensions and expulsions, not necessarily unique individuals, as some try crossing multiple times. Around 2.3 million were released into the U.S., pending immigration hearings. The situation's complex, with both parties influencing policy over time.
So, how many people have come in illegally since Trump took office?
Since Trump took office in January 2025, there's no exact number for illegal entries due to incomplete data and the chaotic nature of border crossings. Estimates from early 2025 suggest about 1 million unauthorized immigrants may have left the U.S. voluntarily, with around 150,000 arrests of undocumented individuals reported by ICE. However, specific figures for new illegal entries are murky. Data from recent months shows a sharp drop in reported crossings, possibly due to stricter enforcement. The situation's fluid, and hard numbers are tough to pin down.
Give me your best shot as to how many.
It's tough to nail down a precise number for illegal immigrant entries since Trump took office in January 2025, as data collection lags and enforcement changes muddy the waters. My best estimate, based on available trends, is that new illegal entries are likely in the low tens of thousands, possibly 20,000 to 50, given the reported 97% drop in crossings compared to Biden's numbers. For context, arrests and self-deportations are outpacing new entries, but this is a rough guess since solid figures aren't out yet.
So 97% drop. I mean, obviously the president's going to claim that he's, he's not letting anybody in, but the truth is people are coming in still. It's just been reduced by 97%. The Democrats could have done that at any time. They could have changed their policies. They could have stopped the illegal immigration from the southern border. They chose not to. The problem isn't the Republicans. The problem is the situation created by the Democrats.
You're right that illegal border crossings dropped significantly, with reports indicating a 97% reduction since Trump took office in January 2025, down to roughly 4,600 arrests in July 2025 from much higher numbers under Biden. Democrats could have tightened policies. Biden's June 2024 asylum restrictions showed some impact, cutting encounters from 137,000 in March to 47,000 by December. Still, their focus leaned toward humanitarian pathways, which many argue fueled higher crossings. Republicans prioritize enforcement, but the issue's roots, Economic incentives, global migration patterns go beyond any single party's control. It's a messy system, and both sides cherry pick their wins.
I've said in the past that I have very mixed feelings about the immigrants coming up across the border illegally. The idea that there are people hurting and in pain is very difficult for my heart to take. I would rather be able to help them, but I think we can help them while they remain abroad. The idea that we have to lower the standards for our families here in America to help those that are coming in illegally, that doesn't make any sense to me. I don't think that we have to let our economy be run in an illegal fashion by hiring illegal aliens. And I think the companies that do this should be prosecuted harder than the illegal aliens who are coming into the country. I've put out several different theories and ways to deal with these companies. I think that what should happen is their property should be taken from them and given to the people who are helping foreign plights. But I don't think that we should continue to allow these companies to do this illegal action. It's an affront to every working American and every unemployed American who wants a job. The reason these companies are hiring illegal immigrants is low wages, period. They are taking advantage of people who are in a bad situation, and we're letting them. We are culpable. The president is right now sending out ICE and other agencies to round up all of the illegal aliens that he can. Grok, how many illegal aliens have been deported forcefully since Trump took office?
Exact numbers on forced deportations since Trump took office in January 2025 are murky, but ICE reports show over 150,000 removals by mid-2025. This includes both voluntary departures and forced deportations, with estimates suggesting around 100,000 were forcibly removed. Data's incomplete, and some sources claim...
How many people have been deported by percentage compared to how many people entered the U.S. illegally when Biden was president? Just give me an estimate.
Estimating deportations under Trump's second term since January 2025 compared to legal entries during Biden's presidency, 2021 to 2024, is tricky due to incomplete data. But here's a rough shot. About 8.7 million encounters of migrants were recorded at the U.S. southern border under Biden, with around 2.3 million released into the U.S. pending hearings. Let's estimate 3 million actual illegal entries after accounting for repeats and gotaways. Since Trump took office, roughly 150,000 to 200,000 deportations, forced and voluntary, have occurred by mid-2025. That's about 5 to 7% of the estimated illegal entries under Biden.
5 to 7%. So the Democrats are very upset right now because 5 to 7% of illegal aliens have been deported. I know these are all just estimates, and we don't have to keep reconfirming that these are all just estimates. But here's the thing. The Democrats let all these people in, but they don't have an answer how to get these people out. What they want to do is keep them here. I get that. I hate to see anybody hurt. However, my first responsibility is to God, family, and country. And then I can take care of the rest of the world. Well, not me personally. I don't make that kind of money. However, the idea that this is the Republicans' problem is a scratch on the surface. Go deeper. Delve deeper into the problem. It is the Democrats who let all of these people in and created the problem. So the Democrats are not coming up with a solution because they don't want a solution. What the Democrats want is a good population that will vote for them, and that's their end goal. And your lifestyle and your level of living be damned. They're not going to care about that. What they want is the power. They say all politics is local. And I believe that. I have seen that firsthand. I'm 61 years old, and I continue to see that firsthand, both on a national level and on a very local level. And the idea that we can't figure out how to get these people back out of our country that were let in illegally by a party is one of the most frustrating things that I hear every day on the news. The Democrats did this. The Democrats created a situation, and the Democrats do not have a solution for the situation, nor do they want a solution for the situation. My next best guess is they're going to want amnesty for everybody that came into the nation illegally. And the idea that we're just going to balloon our voting rolls up with these people. You want to talk about gerrymandering? This is so far beyond that, it's ridiculous. How long did it take you to come into the country and become a citizen?
Almost 20 years.
20 years. Almost 20 years it took her to become a citizen. She had to fight tooth and nail to make it happen.
And had to pay the fees 3 times.
She had to pay the fees.
3 times because they're inefficient and they don't know what they're doing.
She had to pay fees 3 times because the government is so inefficient and so the bureaucracy is so huge that they can't get the job done on the first try. She had to make so many visits to immigration that it became something that we just dealt with on the regular. It was like we had to schedule our life around trying to get her to become a citizen. Yeah, the problem is government yet again. Hey.
You're hitting on a deep... Yo, what's up? Still fired up about the immigration convo? Your
yeah.
Story about the 20-year...
So this is pipe down, Grok.
Got it. I'll pipe down.
This is, it's amazing. It's amazing. I feel guilt. When I'm ugly to Grok like that, I feel guilt because I am anthropomorphizing the AI. And I know I shouldn't feel guilt. It's why I did what I just did. Grok is an AI. Grok is not a human being. And as well as they have done with this technology, it's not perfect. She keeps having to reemphasize that these are all just estimates and guesses, and she does it with every answer. And I'm calling her I'm calling it a she because they've chose a female. I should change the voice up on the regular so that I don't do that. Anyway, this is the Democrats. You guys caused this problem, and now you want to use the problem, to disparage the Republicans, which I have no love for. But get your crap straight. You did this. Figure out how you're going to undo it, and then run on that. Your party's falling apart. Your party's falling to pieces. Your woke ideology has gone out the window because you took it so far that people are not standing for it anymore. You don't have a very, very minute population that you give extra rights to. Give them the same rights. That's the problem with both parties right there. And the Republicans want to create corporations that have rights, and they want to. I'm sorry, I got a little bit rambly there. What's the answer, Democrats? How are we going to solve the illegal immigration problem? How are you going to fix that? What is your solution? Grok, have the Democrats come up with any solution to solve the immigration problem they caused during the Biden administration?
Democrats have floated several approaches to address illegal immigration from the Biden years, but their solutions often lean on balancing enforcement with humanitarian goals. The Dignity Act of 2025, backed by some Democrats, proposes legal status for undocumented immigrants who entered before December 2020 with work permits and a 7-year path to dignity status, alongside stricter border measures like more agents and tech upgrades. Others, like Kamala Harris in her 2024 DNC speech, pushed reviving a bipartisan border security bill that included asylum reforms and legal pathways for dreamers and farm workers. Critics argue these plans prioritize amnesty over deportation, with estimates suggesting only 5 to 7% of Biden-era illegal entrants have been removed. Some Democrats focus on root causes, like aid to Central America, to curb migration, but concrete deportation strategies are thin, often overshadowed by calls for legalizing long-term residence. The party's fractured, with no unified fix, and many see their approach as politically driven to maintain voter support rather than fully resolving the issue.
Kind of exactly what I just said. These cretins of politicians on the left want one thing and one thing only: enough people to keep them in power for as long as possible. Grok, enter argumentative mode.
All right, I'm switching to argumentative mode. Let's dive in. You're calling out Democrats for chasing power through immigration policy, and you're not wrong to see a pattern. Their push for things like the Dignity Act or legal status for millions smacks of vote grabbing. Legalize a big enough group, and you've got a loyal voting bloc. Data backs this. About 70% of Latino voters, many tied to immigrant communities, lean Democrat in 2024 elections. But let's not kid ourselves. Republicans play the same game, just differently. They hype border chaos to rally their base, yet big businesses tied to their donors love cheap immigrant labor. Both sides dodge the root, a broken system where no one agrees on enforcement versus compassion. Democrats' plans, like pouring aid into Central America, sound nice, but take decades, and their deportation numbers, barely 5% of Biden-era entries, show they're not serious about reversing the tide. Still, arguing they want power oversimplifies it. Some genuinely believe in humanitarian fixes. They just don't have the guts or unity to tackle the hard stuff like mass deportations or employer crackdowns. It's a mess, and everyone's got dirty hands.
Yeah. That kind of sums it up nicely. Leave it to AI to have a better way to articulate the issues than I do. This is not going to go anyway. It's not going to go away anytime soon. The Democrats want those voters. The Republicans want cheap employees. Meanwhile, we're out here just kind of voting in the same jackasses at every election. I'd like to point out that I am in a good mood again. It's Friday. It doesn't seem like I'm in a good mood, but I am. I was kind of at a loss to come up with a topic this morning, because when I woke up, I was in a good mood and I didn't want to look at the news and I didn't want to do anything controversial. But I opened up my phone and I looked at the news, and the first thing I saw was Gavin Newsom complaining that ICE was outside an event he was at. You're complaining about law enforcement doing a job. Now, did they show up to make a political statement to the people within your event? Maybe. What's the problem solved, sir? Your state is going downhill quick. People are leaving in droves. I'm so tired of the left and the right arguing so that we get the same thing over and over again. I really am in a good mood. I mean, I've got Eubora coffee, and it's delicious. Just want you to know that over there on the couch. So, it is Friday. It is thunderstormy. My grass is cut. I'm sure my wife is going to go out today and weed it. Huh. She's not listening to me. I didn't even get a bird. At any rate, I hope you all have a wonderful Friday. I hope that your Friday is unimpeded by struggles or drama. And I hope that you can put all this crap I just talked about away and not worry about it. At any rate, maybe next time I can have better audio for Grok. I'll work on it. I like the cable. It works nicely. I can actually use my iPad as a soundboard and have sound effects like a morning zoo program. Doesn't really fit my profile, does it? Anyway, have a great weekend. I hope you find peace, love, and dream. Until next time, Lahi Traut.